three. These three screws are what you need to pull the outer barrel assembly out. This will include the outer barrel, the inner barrel, and the hop-up unit, all in one shot. I'm currently working on this gun because my teammate Aaron, he's having FPS issues, really bad, really low. So I'm gonna go into it, see if he has a compression issue, or maybe it's just a spring. He may have left the spring compressed for a long period of time. The guys I play with all have multiple guns, and you can easily make that mistake. You play with a gun, leave it stored after shooting it in full auto without relieving the spring. Therefore, you go to use a gun the next time, it's only shooting 200 FPS. But this one is very inconsistent, and the FPS has been very low. But I also thought, while I'm at it, I might as well show a video of how to disassemble a basic disassembly of a G36. I tell you, my experience, not just with airsoft and AEGs, but with working on cars, motorcycles, all types of items that require the use of tools. Your jobs can become 20 and 30% easier if you use the correct tool for the job. So if it requires a Phillips screwdriver, use a Phillips screwdriver. If it's a flathead, use a flathead, not a quarter. Alright. Now before pulling out the outer barrel, you want to disconnect the power cord. There's, see here's a small type Tamiya connector inside the gun assembly. That way you can take the outer barrel out and work on the outer barrel, the hop-up unit, the inner barrel, nub, bucking, and all that stuff without having to take out the gearbox. I just want to give you guys a note. I think I've worked on this gun before, and I've owned quite a few G36 models, Ks, Cs, and they all have this same issue in this area here. As you can see here, this is where the battery will plug in and the wires run along either side of the outer barrel, and then come up here to this portion that connects inside the body of the gun. I have a piece of tape here. I'm sure I did this. This looks like something I did. And what I do is I usually put a piece of tape here on these guns when I get them new. I think I worked on his gun at the field one day. When you take these guns apart, take the outer barrel assembly out multiple times, what ends up happening is you wear these wires down. Next thing you know, you plug in the battery, poop, poop, pop. Fuse blows, or the gun sets on fire, or whatever. Your fuse, wires, MOSFET if you have one. So what I do is I add a piece of electrical tape over it so that the electrical tape is eaten up first. I take my guns down on a regular basis so I can inspect that tape a lot, and as you can see here, these wires are still in great condition, almost new. There's no signs of wearing on these from taking the outer barrel out. So the tape is working. When I go to put the gun back together, I'll put another piece of tape on here and carry on with what I've been doing. Alright, now we need to separate the lower receiver, basically the gearbox, from the body of the gun. You'll notice here, screw here on the left side of the gun, and there's also a screw on the right side of the gun. And in the words of the late great Billy Mays, wait, there's more. There's one more screw that gives you access. And inspecting this, I'm going to assume that Aaron had issues with this pin falling out. You can see there's a little bit of what appears to be either tape or epoxy to hold it in place. I've had this problem with my guns, my G36s as well. And now with the pin out, this swivels. See? And again, be careful when you're doing this, because nothing sucks more than when you break tabs here or break the tab here. Alright. And as I was saying, wait, there's more. Here's another screw here. Again with the Allen wrench. They're all the same size, so the same Allen wrench, Allen key will fit on all three. The one G36 model that I have not worked on up to date is the Aries version, and I'm not sure if it's exactly the same as the rest of these. Someone told me that they had a quick spring change option on the Aries version. I can't verify that because I've never worked on one. Alright, now that screw is out, the two screws on the sides are out, and it just swivels right out. And now you have access to the gearbox and the lower things of that nature. And as I was saying, wait, there's more. And here's another screw here. Again with the Allen wrench. They're all the same size, so the same Allen wrench, Allen key will fit on all three. The one G36 model that I have not worked on up to date is the Aries version, and I'm not sure if it's exactly the same as the rest of these. Someone told me that they had a quick spring change option on the Aries version. I can't verify that because I've never worked on one. Alright, now that screw is out, the two screws on the sides are out, and it just swivels right out. And now you have access to the gearbox and the lower things of that nature. Real simple, real basic. Keep everything neat. As you see, I have a tray here that I keep all of my parts as I take them out. I keep this empty. If I'm working on one of my guns, this only has the parts in it from the gun that I'm currently working on. If I'm working on a teammate's gun, same thing. I empty it out for the particular gun that I'm working on at the moment. That way I'm not mixing up parts. I'm putting everything back in that came out of the gun. I'm able to keep track of everything. And this is one of those magnetic trays. Got this from Harbor Freight for like $3 or $4, and it works wonderful. This pad, it's a little neoprene pad that I got from one of our surplus stores here, and you can buy them in sheets, and I just cut it and I use it for what I need. It's nice and soft, nice and padded. Under it I have a glass chopping block that I use. This is what I take this off and use the chopping block for my soldering, charging my LiPo batteries, you know, just to have a safe surface, just in case something happens. If the soldering iron falls, it's not falling on something that can melt and catch fire. It's on this tempered glass. But to each his own. Everybody, you have your own way of handling these things.